Good afternoon and welcome to the live studios of your darling station, Independent Television. It is a communication complex right here at Igosa near Oluku. My name is Egosa Agbalao and the program is 60 Minutes Nigeria, a current affairs program. A program that affords my guests the opportunity to actually comment and dissect topical issues. And on today's program, we'll be looking at the NLC Impasse and the attendant consequences on the economy. I must tell you that today's program promises to be enlightening, educative, and of course, entertaining. My name is Egosa Agbalao. Welcoming you to the show, a talk show. My guests, very, very prominent personalities in the society. I have with us Mr. Omorugbe Iwanfo. He is the CEO of a thrift organization, a political analyst, a communication strategist. Welcome to today's program.
Good afternoon, viewers.
Okay. We also have with us a clergyman, a political analyst, a very seasoned one at that, Dr. Emeka Ekuga. Nice to have you with us today.
Yeah, well, I appreciate your invite.
We'll be having the third guest later on the show. But like I said, very many Nigerians are nervous. Nervous because on Friday, that's tomorrow, the NLC intend to go on an indefinite nationwide strike. Now, what are the demands of the NLC? They've had one strikes before now, and it all ended on the table in terms of dialogue, in terms of discussion, round table discussion with the federal government, and such plans to go on indefinite strike was actually shelved. Now, the demand of the NLC. They've been promised of CNG mass transit buses as part of cushioning the effect of the removal of petrol subsidy, which has brought untold hardship on the people. Now, they've also made demand for 200% wage increase. In other words, workers in Nigeria should have 200% increase in their wages. In Nigeria, actually, we earn salaries, so increasing salaries. Now, the problem of ASU was also tabled because some members of the ASU are also clamoring for their salaries to be paid, because during the industrial action by ASU, the federal government withheld salaries of some months, and ASU is saying they need their money, they need their salaries, you know. So that is part of the demand of the NLC. And there are other demands too, because they want the effect of the removal of petrol subsidy not to actually dampen the morale of workers, and not to, I wouldn't even like to use the word, extinguish life, you know, or affect the lives of workers. My guests will do the discussion, but I will take a very brief break now to allow us to introduce our third guest so that we can just get started with the program on the right footing. Okay, just joining us is a youth leader and also a very prolific political analyst, Efosa Atoy. Nice to have you with us today. Okay, we're just looking at the NLC Impasse and the effect on the economy. And Efosa Atoy is the chairman of the Palm Producers Association of Edo State. So he wants to be called farmer, because that's what he does. So he'll be telling us how all of this will affect the economy as well. Okay, so let's just get started. And a financial expert in our midst, Omorugbe Iwanfo, we commence with his own comments on this issue. Now the NLC and the FG, yes, they've held dialogues, but we are not certain if the indefinite strike will not commence on Friday.
Thank you very much for having me, Osa. First of all, I want to throw a little light on the word strike and the word impasse. Strike means withdrawal of service.
Yes.
And when NLC are talking about their strike, it means that all affiliated unions, all the people in the Nigerian workforce are about to withdraw their services,
yes,
as the case may be. Then the word impasse, in fact, when I got the invitation from you, Osa,
yes,
the use of the word impasse actually explain the real situation. Impasse is when something is not having any way.
Exactly.
No headway at all, as if no progress, no development, as per both the NLC and the federal government. The word strike is not new to our ears in this country. I grew up to meeting different union, different organizations going on strike. But in recent times, it has become a very conversant, very common word among us citizens and even those in the public sector. We have seen cases whereby the issue of strike in this country has not really played any role in correcting the agitations of these different unions. I want to a little bit talk on the issue of the ASU strike last year, where university lecturers were on strike for almost 9 months. And it got to a time the federal government stopped their pay. And you see that some lecturers, as far as I'm concerned, or that I know of, some of them lost their lives. Somewhere along the line, SANU joined the strike too. Some people, even in the University of Benin here, died because of the stoppage, so to speak, the stoppage of their salary. Not everybody can cope without really having money anyway. That being said, another strike is Lomi. Earlier in the month, we had 2 days warning strike, and we were thinking that after that 2 days warning strike, dialogue will commence immediately. But it didn't. Like the normal Nigerian style, they wait till the last minute before they start to talk. I think they started talking on this issue of strike that will commence tomorrow, I think on Sunday evening here. It's a situation whereby this issue of unending strike has really eaten deep into our system, to the extent that people like us, we've lost faith in the issue of the move to strike, because most times it does not really bring up the envisaged results. This most times NLC or ASO, or as the case may be, will go on strike. Government will not shift their ground to get tired at the end of the day and resume back to work. The agitations that push them to going on strike are never met in this country. Most times it will even be an additional agitation for next time, like an issue of, you just mentioned it just now, that NLC are still agitating for ASU. ASU last year I think they were agitating for pay rise, good working condition, the issue of IPPS or something, and we all knew how the whole thing ended. There's another strike, Lomi now. The issue of ASU is still being added to another agitation. So it's like, when we finish this one now and they push it forward, the outcome of this strike will now be a reoccurrence, a kind of added to another agitation again. To me, I think the issue of strike is becoming a charity, a child's play, because the government of the day, I don't want to be particular about the present government anyway,
yes,
because this present government, outside the issue of the palliatives, they inherited most of these agitations. They inherited it. Irrespective of the fact, even if we even remove the issue of subsidy, are Nigerian workers satisfied? They are not. So it's not that this present agitation is being encompassed, a kind of is really covered by the removal of subsidy.
Okay.
There are other things that were before the table, before the removal of subsidy.
Okay.
Like the issue of the minimum wage, the issue of like you have said just now, the issue of the CNG and some others.
Okay.
You know.
Okay, Mr. Amafo, we'll come back to you. Very elaborate opening remarks. I can sum it up by saying that he has just emphasized your ending cycle of industrial actions in this country. It is something that needs to be tackled once and for all, so that we don't begin to have a recurrent decimal factor, like mathematicians will say. You know, well, we have a clergyman, but he's also a businessman and knows the political terrain very well. Dr. Emeka Ekoga. Now, one of the demands of NLC is increase in wages. They are actually asking for 200%. Now, you are a businessman. If such increase is approved by the federal government, already we have inflationary measures now. Things are very expensive. Do you think that's the right approach to solving the current problems we are facing in Nigeria?
Well, I must be honest to you and to Nigerians.
Okay.
Everybody wants things to work out well. And if you look at the situation of the country today, you will agree with me that even the workers are not finding it easy.
Okay.
If they have asked for 200% increase in their salaries, I think that is the right word I should use, in their salaries, I don't think they are demanding much.
Okay. Because
if you go to the other side in the political circle, how much is a senator who is also supposed to be a civil servant receiving? How much are the members of the House of Assemblies? How much are the members of the reps receiving? You also find out that them in the political circle, they are all getting things at ease for themselves. If you want to go to a little break, there is a particular amount of money, allocated to them. I can quote the Senate president before their last.
Are you talking about the prayer?
Yeah,
the prayer of the Senate president that has caused wahala now.
Yes. When he said something is going to go or something has been approved for them, and for him to say let the poor breathe, I think you should also agree with me that the Nigerian Labour Congress or the ASU that is demanding for 200 increase, they are not making a mistake. And then when you increase their money, it will enable them to meet up so many things. My brother here made a comment or said something as regarding to those who went on strike in the last time, even in Uniben, that people died. Why did they die? Because there was no money to be taken
I would not like
of.
us to use Uniben because we don't have any evidence.
Okay. He didn't mention only Uniben. He said in some of them that went to strike, some of them that as a result of strike, they died. It wasn't because they went to strike that made them die. It's because there was no money for them to take care of themselves. Many of them were sick. No money. Salary was not paid.
Stopped.
Sir?
I said salary was stopped.
Salary was stopped. And of course, why did they go on strike? We have a disagreement. And what is the disagreement? Okay, the way things are going, things are increasing. I can't go to market and buy something as normal. The cash is not there. I don't have that kind of money to buy things that are normal, necessary things in the house. I can't pay my children's school fees. How much more taking care of health issues? And when you look at all these things, and I said, please, Add something to me. I am working. I can't, the money you pay me cannot be able to enable me fixed octanes. Add something to me. And you said, for what? That is where the disagreement comes.
Okay.
And then when this disagreement comes, you want to make sure you stand your ground. Me too, we want to make sure I stand my ground. So for them to go on strike, to make sure their demand is being met, it's not a wrong thing. I must disagree with my colleague here that if they have been going on strike in the past, that is to say the federal government has not been able to do what is right at the right time. If my salary ought to be increased after 3 years, you should have done that, not to wait for me to begin to remind you. And when I remind you, you refused, I will down tools. And when I down tools, you will not begin to look into my request. You will not begin to look into my needs. And that is exactly what is going on. On Sunday here, there was meeting upon meeting, which ought to have done earlier before now. Which ought for the federal government to have taken action before now. Why are you waiting until by tomorrow now or Monday, probably when they now go on proper strike, you now begin to come and say, let's go into a roundtable dialogue. There has always been this roundtable dialogue.
Okay.
What stops you from
thank you, Dr.
not
Emeka.
giving them what they want?
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, now looking at this imbroglio, this federal government and NLC crisis. Now, do you think the federal government can afford to allow another NLC strike, indefinite strike, on Friday?
The NLC, if they don't politicize it, like my brother here said something, they will call for strike. At the end of it, some of them will go round table talk, as we normally say. After the brown envelopes, they will come and say we are still negotiating. I believe at this point in time, the NLC, they are not the one driving this strike. They are just representing the strike. The hunger is everywhere. Those who want to lead us and are not ready to sacrifice. Nigerians have sacrificed for 3 months now. And people are still paying their price. Nobody is happy. The senators, the governors, what we have in the red and green chambers are former governor, former IG, former this, former that. We don't have the masses, the poor people, or what they call the commoners. They have money. In their state, like the Senate president, is still receiving salary as a former governor. He's receiving salary as a Senate president. He still have bumper to negotiate with. These are the things Nigerians are looking forward. And if the federal government, the president also should tell Nigerians, if you want the poor to breathe, you're a former governor, former senator, are they still paying you in Lagos State? Are you still receiving federal government? Let us know these things. The NLC, what they are asking is not even enough. How can, at this point in time in Nigeria, somebody is still receiving 30,000, 50,000, and people are playing with millions, their children goes abroad. Look, the NLC should come and hit the ball. There is nothing. The palliative, they say they are sharing 2 billion. I would say our state governor did well by declaring free buses. None of us here enter buses. We have our vehicles. If that he has moved to make the poor of the poor to benefit, kudos to him. But that will not change the situation. What will change the situation is to make food available.
That's right.
Outside the country, we should not look at the way senators behave abroad. How do the senators see their constituencies? There is no food. We have land. They say we should go to farm, no tractors. At this point in time, I should tell a graduate to dig the soil with his hand, cutlass and knife. Most of these senators and governors in the high and mighty, their fathers did this partisan farming. How much have they contributed? What is the time? So what NLC is doing, the strike is overdue. Nigerians need these questions to be answered. The president today of this country is known as an activist. If he knows the power of strike, he should allow his men now to go down to the grassroots, to make things available. Nigerians will solve Nigeria's problem, and the youth are ready to do what the federal government want to do. So if the NLC is saying we want to go on strike, who is the NLC fighting for? They are fighting for their pocket. But that is the only organ that can tell the federal government that Nigerians are suffering. So if that is right, I will say this again. I'm in full support. If it has not been working, this time around, it will work. Because Nigerians, I'm saying it, it's not because I'm in Edo. Those in Lagos are crying. Those in Kaduna are crying. In Bayelsa, in Kafichan, they are all crying. So the federal government should look straight to Nigerians and sort this problem. NLC is speaking 200% increase. Please let us do the common mathematics here.
Yes.
200% of somebody that is receiving 30,000.
30,000.
That will be brought to how much?
That's 90,000.
What are we saying? How much to fuel a car? A car is 35,000, depends on the vehicle you are using. So if all the state government,
to fuel a car is more than 35,000.
No, that is when it's not properly
okay, when it's not empty.
If it's empty, it's for 5,000. It's for 5,000, 600 naira per liter, 620. Those even the money. Let me tell you, you know where the problem is. NLC is just hammering it. The 600 we are buying now.
610.
610, 620. Go to the filling station, they are still subcharging you.
That's
Those in weight and measures are not even going there to make sure that you pay 600, you get 1 liter. They still subcharge you. Which country are we? We are in a country where the constitution is always being read to us. When a common criminal is caught, sent to jail. But the big criminals are all working using sirens. So what I believe NLC is doing, they are not demanding too much. And those who are in the green chambers and the red chambers, if they want Nigerians to breathe, for 1 year, their allocation, they all have money. They did election. They should allow those money to go in circulation. Let the people, let the masses, not some of us sitting down here, we can make some things. There are people, they wake up this morning, they are not sure if they will eat and sleep. And those people are in the street, they have PVC. So what the government should do is a clear thing. Let the NLC and all other people who are going for this strike, please, they are just speaking for the common man. Who is the common man? They are all Nigerians. They are not angels. Okay. So I will say on this, we are in full support. Let the palliative, they are saying, okay. It's not sharing of rice.
Okay, thank you. We'll come back to you. We'll come back to you, but that will be immediately after this break. For this strike, because it's not just about the NLC, they are just ventilating the anguish, the anger of so many Nigerians. So many Nigerians are unable to feed. Because the transport sector in Nigeria seems to have a very pivotal role in terms of affecting the economy. So immediately the petrol subsidy was removed, that means there was an increase in the pump price of petrol. That affected transportation. And transportation sector takes care of, transportation of food from the villages, from the different parts of the country, and there was sharp increase in the prices of foodstuff, of food items rather. Let's go back to Mr. Aboregbe Awanfo. I always want to go to where he's a financial expert and he knows the nitty-gritty. Now, don't you think NLC going on strike will affect the economy very negatively?
Very well. Like this popular say that when 2 elephants fight,
yes,
it's the grasses that suffers. Normally, NLC is a big boy in the game. So also the federal government. So if they cannot agree, definitely it's going to push to us, the common men. Definitely it's going to affect a lot of activities.
Okay.
First of all, economic buying and selling
Yeah.
will be disrupted. People working or doing businesses in all these schools like University of Benin will go back home, students will go home, and a lot of economic activities will go down. But I want to really talk more on the overall interest of everyone.
Okay.
This issue of strike, always having, getting nothing, like, it's like nothing works in Nigeria and all that. It goes a long way in affecting investment too. Investment. I mean, diaspora kind of impression about this country.
Okay.
Somebody called me two weeks ago. He said he wants to set up a business for his younger brother, that I should bring ideas for him, which I did in about 48 hours. I sent my suggestions to him.
Yeah.
In less than 3 days, the brother that I think the one abroad said he's about investing about 5 million naira, which is a good sum to start up, irrespective of the waiting side in this country. 5 million naira is still not chicken change anyway.
Yeah.
So the one in Nigeria now called me, brother Ogbe, how far? Why are you discussing with my brother in this line? I don't want you to. You should just use the money to come and carry me abroad.
Doctor just said simple. You will explain that simple later. Let continue.
I was shocked. I said,
Yes.
I thought I was talking in your favor. He said, no, but I said, these are things you have done with me before. I know you have the potentials to turn around 5 million to a growing.
Yes, to grow your income.
They said, no, I should not talk in that aspect again. So what am I talking about? But by the time these people hear this matter again now, by tomorrow, they declare strike. People abroad now say, nothing comes good about in this country. So the perception, the way they look at the Nigerian state is like, no matter what is coming out from Nigeria is on the negative. Nothing good comes out of Nigeria. So on the long run, this strike is definitely going to still affect the way they perceive us, the way they see us and all that. But I want to throw clear a small clause from what my brother just said. I'm not saying that going on strike is wrong, but I'm saying that we've had series of strikes. What were the outcome? What were the outcome? Because if you are talking to a responsible, I'm sorry to use this word, if you are talking to a responsible father, I don't want to use the word government. If a son is talking to a responsible father, it's left for the father to understand the agitation or the demands of that child. But when you are talking to an irresponsible father, and you tell your father, oh, I have a homework in mathematics, I need one textbook, 1,000 to the man. If the man is not responsible, he'll just be looking at you. Now you know whether you do mathematics or not. I think that is the situation we are here. The agitations or the planned strike, I'm not saying it's out of place, but what is it going to benefit us at the end of the day? Because we have had series of strikes. You know, it got to a time, I think federal government had to go to court to mandate ASU to resume work.
Yeah, industrial court.
Industrial court. Last year it was in Gige, Labour Minister. Now it's not along.
Yes.
So what I'm trying to say is that this government or our kind of leaders will romance this situation, romance it, and see push it to an incoming government. So it's like something that will not have headway. That's my standpoint.
Okay, thank you.
I think in addition,
yes.
In addition, I think the NLC should start looking at something else outside the issue of strike. Because strike to the federal government is just like a toothless bulldog. They are not scared anymore because they are not that responsible to understand the plight of NLC.
Okay, I will not accept that you said that the government is not responsible. It's a responsible government. You know, dialogue. You have to make your demands known, and the federal government to look at the financial situation in the country. We understand that Nigeria is indebted, you know, and so can they cope with the demand? If they increase wages by 200%, can federal government guarantee regular prompt payment of salaries? $1 million question. Let's just get the thought of Dr. Emeka. Now, yes, the NLC, FG, they've had a series of dialogues on demands of NLC and federal government making their own position. Looking at this removal of subsidy, because that's what triggered this recent agitation and need to go on strike. Removal of petrol subsidy. Now, the federal government has promised that they will import gas-powered mass transit vehicles. Don't you think we should give the federal? Don't you think NLC should give the federal government time to actualize? Can you just import these vehicles in a day, in a month? Don't you think the federal government need time?
Well, just according to the question.
Yes.
How long? What time are they demanding? The president have made a statement the other time. He said, "Be patient with us." And Nigerians has always been patient. Let me quote the former media aide to the former president.
Okay, Lai Mohammed. Is the Minister of Information?
No, not Minister of Information. Okay. Media aide.
Okay.
Garba.
Okay.
Shehu. I think a time he made a statement. He said, if you sell petrol in Nigeria for 1,000, Nigerians will buy. We are used to all this. But it's not everybody that can buy a petrol. You can look at the road today. No more hold up in my area. The reason is because if you were having 3 before, you're only using 1. And I put it to you, some of them that has 1 is even not even using the very 1 again. Everything is done very expensive. Giving federal government time is not bad. What motivated the NLC to go on strike? It's not that they have not been given time, but it's because federal government give them from now to 20 years time. They will remain adamant. They will still be the same thing.
So now this is a new government. We should allow them time. This new government may not behave like maybe previous governments. Yes.
Let's judge from the root. At the beginning, if Mr. President wanted the country to be at peace and I know he has a good interest. There's no leader who don't have a good interest. But is to, bring whatever you have at back of your mind as a good interest to reality.
Yeah.
Now, you just came to the office, you've not been sworn in your opening remark, you remove subsidy. And within the space of few weeks or months, you now begin to, dish out some billions of money to states on palliative. Now, if you have come into a dialogue and called stakeholders, NLC is a stakeholder to the Federal Republic of Nigeria as long as this country is concerned. And you call your management teams, the ministers or whomever, the governors of the states, and say, gentlemen, this money, instead of us to use it to start maybe importing vehicles and the same vehicle import, the fuel you are going to use to power them, the diesel you are going to use, diesel as I speak to you today is 1,100 naira. Diesel today. Go to stations and find out. A liter of diesel is 1,100 naira. We bought yesterday. Even this morning. How many liters will you buy? And where will you carry 5 liters or 10 liters of diesel to carry people free of charge within the space of the globe or jurisdictions? Now, if he has used this money by bringing all these stakeholders together and repair the refineries we have, it will have gone a long way. You won't see these people agitating, because you can't buy diesel of 1,000 naira and you say 30,000 is enough for you. It's not possible. If you increase the salary to 90,000, good and fine. You will also agree with me that it still not be enough. Giving federal government time to when, if they cannot listen to what they are asking for, if you can bring billions for palliative, you can increase a salary of somebody who is working for you, helping you to grow, helping you to live. Because it's out of the money they gathered that they are using to take private jets to anywhere they are going. You know what it takes. Travel from one country to another country. If they have agree now. If they agree, Lalong agree today, and they encourage the president and say, let's give it to them. The money is there. They hold it within themselves.
Yeah, it appears that America, I bet you've gone to that place to see it.
Okay. They hold it within themselves.
Thank you, Dr.
So
Emeka.
if they bring it and increase this little request of these workers, these are workers for Christ's sake.
Okay.
Bring this little request and give to them. I am sure much time will be given to them to do the rest, because after now it's 200. I am suspecting it's going to go to possibly 900 increase. But before this, I want to also encourage the Nigerian Labour Congress.
Yes.
Going into strike has a lot of effects to this nation, Nigeria. But it's their right. I would also want them to still make sure there are more dialogues. My brother was saying they should find another way out. But which other way out? This is the only way they can cry out.
There are other ways.
There are other ways. We'll come back to that. Let's just get it all of now. I asked the question. Don't you think federal government should, the NLC should allow the federal government, because we have a new government. Few days ago, we were talking about 100 days in office and all of that. Now, don't you think the NLC should allow this current administration time to meet their demands instead of going on indefinite strike?
The government should come out with their own time. Nigerians are not aware, as my brother said just now, the last speaker. He made it very clear. He just took out of office and he said subsidy is removed. We were thinking, as a former governor, now president, every former governor in my cabinet will not receive salary. Every minister presently now, your salary will be diverted to the poor to breathe. Nigerians will shake. They will now know the money is there. As we are saying, the money is very available. And Nigerians know what we have. If to fuel a car is 45,000, how long will you go? That is what I did. I said, if all the buses, they are fueling now for free transport, interview those who are using it. They are a little bit relieved. They said 500, 1,000 going, coming, I'm having it. They are happy. If the federal government should do more, the poor will be happy. The problem have not been addressed. What NLC is asking now is survival. Nigerians cannot be a beggar in their country. That is what we are saying about. Today is NLC. Other association groups will come. In America, they are striking there. In India, they are strike. But whenever they go on strike, it's been defined. And I believe this year on is different. Government is continuous. Before they pick form to contest as president, they knew this problem existed. So nobody should say they are new about it. What I am saying about NLC, going on this strike, the poor people, the down of the ladder will still suffer. There is an adage. If you talk, you will die. If you don't talk, you will die. The Nigerians are ready. We cannot stay in our own house and hunger will kill us. Whereas there are some people who will just sit there, from councillor to chairman, from chairman to deputy governor to House of Rep to vice president. Vice president, they want to be president. They are just in the ladder climbing. Such persons will tell you, give government a time because he's in the government. But those who are outside the government want the thing. NLC, for once, I saw Osifo, the TUC chairman, is giving his own statistics. Let me tell you, this is not an individual. The president should be aware. He's a Lagos boy. He should understand that the Lagos where he struggled and survived at that time, somebody in that Lagos cannot be fortunate the way things are now. And if, as a true Nigerian, I'm always talking about the governor of this state. Some persons will say this governor, but we that are true Edo boy, Benin boy, we know what he's doing, trying to put the whole things to work. It cannot be perfect. But if every politician, this is not the time for you to take money and put in your pocket. Prove it. The issue said in another day, what did you kill? Show me. Don't put it inside the bag. Show me. Let everybody come. NLC is just one organ talking. Nigerians, go outside, go to beer parlor. No business is functioning. Nothing is working. As you said, 5 million is a good sum of money for somebody to invest. We are here today. I don't think maybe they are using special line or whatever. The tariff in paying bills are increasing everything.
Everything.
Nigerians are not talking. We recharge our phone. I'm saying it today now. The call, you will just make call. The other person will say it's not hearing. Nobody is talking. Your card is going. Who are the people bringing this card? They are Nigerians. Nobody is talking. Those in the green chambers, they are silent. Those in the red chambers, they are silent. Look, NLC is just helping them by saying we are negotiating. Increase this thing with 200 so that we'll go and sit down. If they refuse, as you said, the next one will say in 900. Because I don't see a reason why you want to lead me. You will go and sell your house and go and collect loan to contest elections. Who asked you? the person that said you want to contest,
Yes.
they said you have no money to give leaders because you cannot share money. Go and sit down at home, and now you are not there. You say there is no money. My brother, resign. It is better. In this country, we want a situation whereby the constitution is there. If the president or the governor of his, he can no longer cope, just resign. Somebody will enter there and do the needful. All we are just asking now is because Nigerians, we are set. The youth is set. It's not about the judiciary. Look, we are Nigerians who took our oath. Our birth certificate in this country shows that we have the right to do what is right. Nobody is going to fight anybody but you that is holding the public fund, sitting in the public chair. When I ask you, give me account of what you are using our money for. Don't tell me I'm returning you. And that is what Nigerians is asking those people. They will not be safe haven for any of them. Their children, wherever they are in this country, world, is not safe. Where they are sitting is not safe. Just imagine the Senate president who was just a minister of Niger Delta. You are saying you need a bulletproof car. Have you ever drove any car without bulletproof? That you need a new one, and you say the port should breathe. These are the things NLC should bring out and ask. Why are you asking for a new vehicle? Was it 2 days or 3 days ago, they were interviewing the media, Senate committee chairman of media. He was saying, as a senator, your place should be cultural. Look, the money you use in campaigning, they're giving you I've gone to National Assembly. My brother, that place is not vandalized. Anybody that comes here to pick his own wrong, is it your wrong? Federal government will do. It's just like a lecturer or an HOD in a department. Nigerians are just quiet. An HOD, the VC will appoint an HOD or the Senate. As you are leaving your office as HOD, you will carry the fridge, carry the chair, carry the television, and you will go. And Nigerians will not talk. That is an issue. So if, as I'm saying it, it's clear, please, Nigerians are not taking it funny. Those in the altar, they are hearing what? When you tell somebody, God bless you, he open his eye and see where the blessing is coming from. If you see that your hand is open, you just walk out. But when you say God bless you, and you see their hamper everywhere going, you see the praise of the so the amen will change. So everybody now knows that the only way you can get the blessings of God is let the material things come, because what they are looting from us is real.
Thank you, Mr. You know, time is always our friend on this program. So just no, because of time, just your closing remarks, Dr. Meka, closing remarks.
Oh, my own.
Yes,
all
closing remarks.
Let me quickly close my remark with what he said about a friend that called him to say, 5 million, help me, let me establish my brother. My brother, 5 million in Nigeria is not enough. Number one, you will pay for store rent and go and find out how much is store rent now. Number two, As soon as you open the shop that day, the revenue collectors will come to your shop to serve you revenue paper to pay bill.
Demand note.
The NEPA is there. Demand notice. The NEPA is there. By the time you join all these things together, you discover that 5 million is nothing in this country anymore.
But you can grow your money.
Yeah,
that's what it's saying. When you invest, then you can grow your income.
When the ground is softened, yes, you can grow it.
Thank you.
But with the situation of things now, it is difficult to grow your whatever business or economy. That's why NLC said NLC said just add 200% so that by the time I gather them, I should be able to grow these things and they make things out.
Thank you very much. Your closing remarks, I want for your closing remarks.
I will tell everyone for free this notification. We should be prepared for another fuel hike. Nigerians should be prepared for another fuel hike, in the sense that the crude oil international value has increased.
Okay.
Definitely it's going to push forward or upward fuel price. So we should be prepared for another.
Okay, thank you very much. First, Atoy.
No closing remark.
No, you've already said a lot. Thank you very much for your comments. Very powerful comments. The senators should know that once they leave office, they should leave the property and allow a new person use. So you don't begin to spend
every year.
Yes, buying furniture, and all of that. It's unnecessary expenditure. I think that's the point he's trying to make. Okay, the poor will always breathe. But once again, I must thank my guests. Dr. Meka, thank you very much. I want for Morogbe, thank you very much. And for Atoy, thank you very much. If you enjoyed the program, keep a date with me. Next week, by the grace of God, we'll be looking at another topical issue as it affects Nigerians. My name is Ego Sagmalao. Bye-bye.